Hello everyone. We are going to do lesson 1-4 today, which is about pairs of angles. So go ahead and take out your Know It notebooks if you haven't already done so and open up to lesson 1-4. Our objective for today is to identify adjacent, vertical, complementary, and supplementary angles and to find measures of these angles as well. First of all, for our vocabulary, you can go ahead and say see below for the first four because we're going to go over them in a different spot. Secondly, vertical angles. I wanted to show you vertical angles. Vertical angles are two non-adjacent angles formed by two intersecting lines. So for example, in this picture right here, my vertical angles are angles 1 and 3. So angles 1 and 3 are vertical, and also angles 2 and 4 are also vertical. And also to be vertical angles, it means that their measures are equal. So 1 is equal to 3 and 2 is equal to 4. Okay? Now, some people get a little mixed up when there's an extra line thrown in here. And a lot of students make the mistake and say that 3 and 1 are vertical angles. Or they'll say that 2 and 5 are vertical angles. And that's actually not true. Remember, it says that we need two intersecting lines. You need to take a look and see, for example, let's take a look at 2 and 5. Well, we have this line that forms 2 and 5, which is good. But then the other line that forms 2 goes here, and then it kind of veers off. It's not an actual line. It's not a straight line at all. And so 2 and 5 are not vertical angles. 1 and 3 are not vertical angles for the same reason. The only set of vertical angles in this picture is angle 1 and angle 4. That's the only set of vertical angles in this picture here. So don't get confused when there's an extra little line thrown in. When you're trying to decide if they're vertical, draw for yourself the lines that form those two angles, and if one of them doesn't show a straight line like this one, then it's not vertical. Okay, pairs of angles. A linear pair and adjacent angles. So adjacent angles are angles that share a side. They're adjacent. They're next to each other. So for example, this angle 1 and 2 are adjacent angles because they share this side right here. They share that side in the middle. So these two are adjacent. They're next to each other. A linear pair are adjacent angles that form a line. So to draw that, I'm going to draw a straight line and then a line in between here. So we have angle 1 and angle 2. These two angles are adjacent, but they're also linear because they form a line right here. Okay, so that's a linear pair. Complementary angles and supplementary angles. Complementary angles are two angles whose sum is 90 degrees. That means, remember, sum means that they add to 90. So if we're trying to find a complementary angle to angle M here, which is 50 degrees, what we need to do is say, okay, angle M, oops, I forgot, angle M plus some angle, and it doesn't matter what it is, it's just some angle, equals 90 degrees. So these two are complements because they add to 90. We're told that angle M is 50. So 50 plus some amount equals 90. So you subtract 50 from both sides and you get 40. So the complement of angle M is 40 degrees. Okay, over here for angle R. With supplementary angles. So supplementary angles are two angles whose sum is 180 degrees. So supplementary angles add to 180. That means that I could say the measure of angle R plus some angle, we're trying to find it, equals 180 degrees. So if we plug in what angle R is, which is 2y plus 20, plus some angle equals 180, and subtract off the 2y and subtract off the 20, subtract off the 2y, subtract off the 20, then what we're going to get here, you need to combine those like terms, and so you get 180 minus 20, which is 160, and this minus 2y just stays minus 2y. We can't really do anything with that. So the supplement of angle R is 160 minus 2y. We're not told what y is, so we have to leave it in this form. Okay, for the next part, you're going to try it on your own. Go ahead and try to do this without looking. Try to draw a pair of adjacent angles. Try to draw a pair of complementary angles, supplementary, vertical, and linear pair. Also, write a definition, okay? You'll notice that a linear pair, if we go back to linear pair, a linear pair, because it forms a line, I wanted to point this out really quick, a linear pair is supplementary. So something else about a linear pair, they add to 180 degrees because a straight angle is 180 degrees. Okay, so go ahead and do this on your own. Try to do it without looking, and I'll check it when I check your